Right, so today we are going to have a very small session, maybe about 1 hour to 1.5 hour. We will focusing on LaTeX, okay, because we did not cover that part because I just wanted few more days to prepare a note for that because UCSC haven't given any note, detailed note. So I shared the note in the WhatsApp group, so you can refer to that, okay? Right. So first we'll go through the practical session. Then we'll do the past papers for last 3 or 4 years related to LaTeX because we skipped those questions. Right. So LaTeX is a document preparation system. It's not for the normal documents, especially for academic documents like theses, uh, dissertations, and so on. Okay. It's a little bit boring, right? Little bit because usually it's easier to do it with something like Word and so on. But anyway, it's in your syllabus. So therefore, we need to do that, right? So we use LaTeX to prepare academic papers, theses, dissertations, and also mathematics and science documents because it has a lot of support for mathematical formulas and so on, like sigma integration and so on. So the idea is you concentrate on the content and make it very consistent and professional. Okay, consistent and professional. And also this is sort of a accepted by academic people as a standard format, okay, for your thesis and so on, so that everyone get a same formatting. So that is another reason, right? Whether you write a thesis in this university or that university, this country or that country, if you use LaTeX, it's consistent because especially PhD thesis and so on, it will be someone is preparing it in Sri Lanka, it's reviewed in someone in USA, okay, Australia, sometimes it's published to another country. So they expect consistent format. So LaTeX gives you that kind of a consistent format. Okay. Right. So these are the advantages. Separate content from formatting. Uh, Excellent for mathematics and equations preparations. And consistent professional formatting. And of course, it support ideal for large documents and widely accepted by universities, journals, and so on. Right. How do you work with LaTeX? So basically, you write your report in a LaTeX language like HTML. Then you save it as a .tex file and let LaTeX software compiles it to a PDF or any other required format. So that is the idea. Okay. So there are two ways you can use LaTeX. One is offline. That means you prepare your LaTeX file, maybe using Notepad or something, text editor, and compile it into your PDF or whatever the required format. But that is little bit too much work, or either or else you can install a software. But what we are going to do is the easier way. Use online LaTeX editor. So we write LaTeX and it convert it into normal text and PDF online, and then we can download it. So in our discussion, we will be using Olive online LaTeX compiler that is the most widely used one. Okay. Uh, so let me copy it. Right. So you can go to the LaTeX Olive website, and it may ask you to create a login. You can use your Google or whatever, right? So then you can start and create a new project, right? New project. So you can create a blank project because we want to learn LaTeX. Otherwise, there are example projects as well. So say blank project, give it a name. Say I'll say SEM3 uh, revision. Maybe that is your project name. Right. So it will give you this kind of a structure. So this name came because I have already created the account and login using that my account, right? Otherwise, of course, it doesn't get this, right? So this is the basic structure, right? So you edit here and it will generate this. So that is the idea. Okay, right. Right. So this is the basic structure of a LaTeX document. So you need to say slash document class. There are possible options like article, thesis, and so on here. Okay. So then you have the begin your document and end your document. It's like HTML body tag. Okay. And inside that you can write your contents. Right? You write your contents, and there are some other this kind of commands. And this is how you write a comment. Comments are ignored. Okay. Of course, very rarely you will write a comment, but for exam purpose, yes, right? Percentage mark. So the rest of the stuff in that line, it's line comments, not block comment. Okay. So this is the sort of the minimum. Okay, minimum. So let me copy paste that rather than this. Okay, so because this has a little bit more details. Right, so this is sort of minimum LaTeX document. Document class is article. In this case, it can be article, thesis, or whatever. Begin, end of your document. And this is a comment. This is just a text. Now I can say recompile. Right, so this is just say hello world. And also I can ask you to download the PDF. Right, so it will have just a hello world. So that is the hello world example from LaTeX. Okay. Right. So now let's continue. Uh, so this is your document class. So it can be article and so on. Begin, end, and this is a comment. Okay. And this is just a text that is I have added to the document. Right. So then you will see that these are called commands. Commands. And some of these commands you can provide parameters within curly brackets. So document class article. Sometimes it's predefined keyword. Sometimes it is your content. For example, when you say bold italics, it is not keyword. You are sending your text. So therefore, sometimes you get confused also. Sometimes this is a keyword. Sometimes this is your text. Okay. It depends on what kind of a command you use. Okay. For example, if you do something like uh, right. So for example, bold. So this is your text, right? So that is your text, right? So again, we use curly brackets. But here we just say our document is a article. So that is not text. So therefore, don't get confused. Sometimes we send another keyword for our command. Sometimes we send our content, especially for formatting. Okay, right. So these are the some possible document classes because in the exams they ask these things: article, report, book, letter, Beamer means presentations, and so of course presentations are very rarely we create using uh, LaTeX because they are much better because we need some fancy kind of things. But anyway, these are the possibilities for document class. So so this is just the article. It can be any of these. Okay, right. So then you can provide additional option also to your document class like margins, the default font size, and so on, right? Then it says report. You can see there we use square bracket, right? Right. Anyway, we'll get back to this later. So then there's a concept called packages. So the by default, LaTeX provide the basic things, right? Basic things, very basic, actually very minimal basics. But most of the additional features you need to use a package and use it. So by default, it is not available. But anyway, you don't need to install or whatever, right? So then only compiler will use those commands. So how to do that? You must say slash use package, your package name. It must be a valid package name available in LaTeX, right? We will be using some of these packages, okay? Right, and it must be before the begin document. If you are using any package, right, it must be before the begin. Uh, I'll show you one package we use. Right. So here we use a package called graphic X. Now, if you use graphic X package, make sure you import it before the begin, right? Before begin, right? Of course, within the document class, but before the begin, you need to use it before beginning of the document. Then only it's available. Okay. Then only it's available. So we will be using some of these packages later on. Okay. Right. So you can import multiple packages using use package multiple times. Okay. Right. So then how to add some text? Obviously, we have already added some text here. So this is how you add a text. Of course, this is a comment, right? Comments are ignored. Uh, but if you need little bit more formatting for your things, for
Yeah,
example, sorry, yes,
percentage sign is a comment
yeah, it's a
symbol.
comment. It's a line comment. Okay.
Okay.
Right. So now if you want another line, say this is, let's say, uh, line one. So my text one. So my text line one. And next one, let's say my text line two. Right. So just like HTML, it doesn't care your enter. For example, if I recompile, you will find that both these lines are in the same line, right? So it doesn't care about your enter. If you want to take something to the next line, you need to type backslash, sorry, slash twice. Okay. So that means it's a new line. Now you can see it goes to the next line. Okay. And then you can see there's a small indentation here. So that we will look at later why there's an indentation, because it is considered this as the paragraph, first paragraph. So that is why it has indented. Okay. Now, if you need another line, of course, the indentation is only for the first line of the paragraph. First line of the paragraph. So this indentation is because this is my first line of the paragraph. By default, it add your paragraph. Okay. It add your paragraph. Now, if you need to add additional paragraph, say this is 3. uh, so you just have a blank line. There's no in remember in HTML there's something called p tag. There's no such thing in LaTeX. You just have a blank line. Okay, blank line. So that is considered as a paragraph. Okay, paragraph. That is why again you can see there's an indentation. So why there's another indentation? Because this blank line is considered as a paragraph. So therefore again it has indented. Okay, is it clear? Okay. Now if you need another paragraph, make sure you have a blank line. So that will be your third paragraph. Okay, and so on. Right. So that is the concept of paragraph. Okay, paragraph. Right. And also, this is what new line character in LaTeX. New line character. Otherwise, Your enter will not work just like in HTML. Okay, right. So as I told you, paragraph is just a blank line, just a blank line. The blank line is considered paragraph, and also there will be indentation for each and every new paragraph. Each and every new paragraph. Okay, right. Now, if you don't like this indentation, because you know that a lot of people these days they don't want indentation, right? For example, even in your final year project, uh, so the university doesn't expect indentation of each and every paragraph. So then, how to prevent it? So there are two ways you can do it. One is temporary, for a particular paragraph only you prevent it, right? Particular paragraph only. So how to do that? You just say no indent, right? No indent command. So that is applicable only for that paragraph. Okay. For example, now what's this? Uh, if I don't like to indent this second paragraph, you can just say no indent and then your content. Okay. You can see that paragraph is still it's a paragraph, but indentation is uh, overwritten. Okay. But sometimes what you need is not individually, because entire report, maybe you don't want this indentation, right? Entire report. So in that kind of a situation, what you can do is you can just uh, set length to 0 point for indentation. So that is a global thing that you need to set before the beginning of the document. So then your paragraphs will not be indented. Okay. Right. So that is one solution, but that is not the perfect solution. Right. I will show you why it's not the perfect solution. Now you can see there's a space in between paragraph also. Now I'm going to add that, okay, before the beginning of the document. Set length for paragraph indentation, 0 point. Right. Now when I recompile, now you can see uh, the indentation is not there. Actually, I thought this line is also losing, but it looks like this line is still there, right? I think that is therefore okay. Anyway, I will remove this knot. I thought it prevent that extra line, but it looks like it has kept the line also. So that is one solution. Set length. Uh, there's a parameter for the set length called para indent, which is 0 point. Okay. Right. So there's another solution to prevent this indentation. That is, you can import paraskip package. So remember, use package is like Java import, right? Paraskip package. So once you import that, it will be automatically again uh, this indentation will be removed, right? So there are two solutions. This is the first solution. This is the second solution. Uh, and you can see you get the same same result. So this is the easier solution. Import the paraskip package. You don't need to do anything, just importing it is enough, right? Just importing it is enough, right? So that is the second solution. Okay, right. So now we'll move on to the text formatting, right? So text formatting means bold, italics, underline, and so on. Right. So just like in HTML, you have commands for that. Of course, we don't call them tags, right? We just call them command. For bold, text BF. And within curly brackets, you need to give your text. So that is not a parameter like a keyword, your text. Or you can simply say slash BF. Italics, it's text IT or slash IT. Underline, it's basically underline. Okay, underline. And if you want to make something a little bit smaller, remember in HTML also we have the small tag and big tag. It's slash small, your text, slash large, your text. Okay. So this is an example I have given you. Let me copy paste. I will use this paraskip package also. Okay. I'm not giving you this code again because you can copy paste from PDF. Right. So begin document is already there. Right. So now, so this will be in bold. This text will be in italics. And this text will be in underline. And this text will be a little bit smaller than the default size. This will be a little bit bigger than the default size. I use slash slash for a new line. Okay, new line, because otherwise it will be in the same line. Okay. Right. Some bold text, italics, underline, small and large. Okay. Right. So those are very self-explanatory. Okay. Right. So the next, because this is kid stuff, right? So my task is just organize the content, right? You can even now read and understand. Right. So then we have the sections and subsections. Remember when we prepare a report, so there's a level 1, level 2, level like 1, 1.1, 1.11, 1.12, and so on. So those are called in LaTeX section, then subsection, then subsection. By default, there are three levels: section, subsection, subsection. And as a parameter, you can give the text, say section text, subsection text. For a section, you can have multiple subsection. For a subsection, you can have multiple subsections. Okay. And LaTeX will automatically add the numbers also, like 1, 1.1, 1.11, like 2, 2.1, 2.2, and so on. You don't need to write it. Okay. So this is an example for that. Right. So here we have document class is article, begin end. Okay, begin end. And we have section called introduction. It has a subsection called background. That background has a subsection called history. Right. So then we have our second section. Right. You don't need to enter. Right. It will anyway work. Requirement analysis. The requirement analysis has subsection called domain analysis. Right. If you want, you can have another subsection. Or if you want, you can have subsections. So I will say domain, let's say requirement modeling. Right? Say modeling. Right? So let's recompile. Now you can see this is my first section. It has a subsection and subsection. If you want, you can have another subsection here. This is my second section. It has two subsections. And under this, you can have your content. Right? So, sub, say, text goes here. Of course, if you want, you can have the next line, more text, and so on. So that is your content. So similarly, you can have content for any of these sections, subsections, and so on. Okay. See some text here, some text here, and so on. Okay. Right. So that is sections, subsections, and subsections. Okay. And there's a very big advantage of using these subsections and so on. One is it's make sure the auto numbering. Other thing is when you have these sections and subsections, you can generate the table of content with page numbers. You don't need to do anything for that. It will automatically generate it. Okay. So that is why these sections and subsections are really, really important. Right. So next, we will look at list. Right. So there are two type of list, just like HTML, unordered list, ordered list. So unordered list, we start with itemize. So it says begin itemize, so then end itemize. So this is your beginning of the document. This is just a text for my title. Okay. So then it is an unknown list. You can have any number of items, right? Itemize. But if you need ordered list, again say begin enumerate and end enumerate. Again, you have the item, right? Item. So don't worry too much about how to change these styles and so on, right? Because examiner has not asked that kind of advanced things, right? Just the basic understanding only they have asked. But of course, if you are looking for very exceptional results, maybe, or you are curious, maybe you can try out these things also, how to change this to something like square and so on. But I don't feel like that is required for you, because remember, for other thing is for communication skills, you don't get ABC, right? It's just you need to pass, right? You just need to pass, because whether you get 95 or 65, it's just it says pass. So therefore, don't try to get A's, A pluses for this subject, because you don't get A's, A pluses, okay? But make sure you are in somewhere around 70, right? So that you pass. Of course, pass mark is 40, but don't take any risks. But make sure other subjects go for your A's, A pluses, okay? Right. So let's copy paste this example. Another thing is, if you feel like communication skills subject is little bit difficult, because different students have different type of skills and so on. So then this is a very good topic to get your marks, because this is like a technical topic, right? This is not a fussy thing like think about, right, aspects of communication, teamwork, right? So therefore, these are very good, because you get sometimes 4 questions, 5 questions, right? It's a very good area for you to get the full marks and pass your subject also strategically. Okay, right. So this example has two lists: unordered list and ordered list, itemized list and enumerator list. Right. So this is itemized list. This is enumerator list. So just use these words, itemize, enumerate, because for the exam, then it's easier rather than say unordered list, ordered list, right? So just get used to it. Now you know why there's a indentation here, because this is my paragraph, right? This is my paragraph. If there's a blank line here, there will be another indentation here. Okay. So if you want to prevent this indentation, you know what to do, right? Uh, just do one of those two options. Right? Uh, Easier thing is what? Use package paraskip. So likewise, you must have that overall confidence. Okay. මේ ගේම ගහන්න තනිකර කටපාඩම් කරලා නෙමෙයි. ඔයාගේ තියෙන confidence එක මත. හරි. ඔයාගේ understanding එක මත. ඔයා දැන් exam ළඟ වෙන full ආතල් එකේ ඉන්නවා. නා relax එකේ ඉන්නවා. හරි. නැත්නම් එහෙම ජීවිතේ කර්මයක් වෙනවා නේ. පාර විභාග ජොබ් එකක ගියාම ඊටත් වැඩිය කර්මයක් ගෙවන්න වෙනවා. බෑ එහෙම බෑ. ඔයා ඉන්නේ නාතල් වෙනවා. ජීවිතේ සුන්දර වෙනවා. Now we can see no indentation. Right. So that is sections and subsections and list, itemized list and enumerate list. Okay. Right. So now we move on to tables, because we heavily use tables, right? Because tables are very readable for users to present your data. Right. So when you use tables, you can use begin tabular, right? Begin and end tabular. Uh, and there you need to give the column format and then your table content, right? It's a little bit strange at first, but once you get familiar with it, it's not difficult at all. Okay. So this column format, you can use C for centered, L for left align, R for right align, and P for fixed width. If you use P, you must give how centimeters or inches or what is your width, fixed width is. Okay. Otherwise, it will try to compact your table. Okay. Right. So this is an example. Uh, I'll explain it with this example because once you look at the example, you will find that, okay, that is super easy. Okay, right, I will compile also. Right, so this is my table. Okay, right, so this is a beginning of the document, end of the document. So this is our table. So begin tabular. So that means two column. Okay, with this, this is pipe character. Right, you know what is pipe character is. So pipe character means you need the vertical uh, column separator, right? Column separator. And the column separator, another column separator, another column separator. So then H line, horizontal line. So the horizontal line is, okay, let me show it. Right. So what does this mean is something like this. Uh, right. So this says begin tabular. This means this basically. Then column, another vertical line, then another column, and then another vertical line. Okay. So that is the structure. So then it says horizontal line, right? Horizontal line. So then you have the first row, name and marks. You can see name, marks. That name fit into this, marks fit into this. Okay. So then another horizontal line, right? So then, so this is the first horizontal line. This is the next horizontal line. So then you have two data, Ali 85, then Sarah 90. You can see no horizontal line in between because otherwise there will be another horizontal line. If you want, you can add. But at the end, you have horizontal line. And then you end it. Right? Now you can play with that. See whether you can add another column. Okay, and so on. So if you want to make it three column, right? Three column, you need to say another C here. Okay. Say and grade. Okay, whatever. So then you must say and say A here and say A plus. Okay. If you want to add another line, say Rehana say 75 say B. This new line character is also required. Okay. And you can recombine. Okay. So that is how you create it. Okay. Table. But if you are interested, see whether what are the other features available, right? That is up to you. But this is minimum required for your exam, right? Right. So then additionally, you can add caption and label to your table. So captions and labels are available for tables, images, that kind of things. Okay. Uh, if you need that kind of captions and labels, you need to wrap your tabular. So this is your tabular with a table. You can see. Now this is our current code or whatever. You need to wrap it with table, right? And close. You don't and close the table because captions and those things are part of the table command. it must be enclosed within the table command, not within tabular command. Okay. So the centering is to center my table. Of course, if you don't want to centering, you don't need that, right? So now let's do that. So I'll change it there itself. So before this tabular, right? So I use table command. So this H means here because you can create a table and put it into the beginning of the page, end of the page, and so on as well. So H means at the table here. Okay. That is a parameter. I'll show you the other parameters later. Now you need to close the table. Uh, okay. So before closing, you can add your caption. Uh, okay. Before adding caption and label. And then you can close your table. Right. So then, of course, you can close your document. Okay. Right. So let's close it. Now we have added a caption. In this case, you can write whatever you want. It says student marks. And also label, uh, we call it marks. So labels you can use to refer to the table in your text content. Okay. That is the purpose of label, but caption is something that is displayed. Right. Now, if I recompile, right now it's center line also because I use center. Otherwise, of course, if you don't want to make it center, just skip it. Now you can see there's a caption added. Right. So this label is nothing to do with the visual thing. It's something that you can use it as a sort of internal hyperlink. Right. Refer to your table. You can use this label. Okay. It says tab and marks. So your label also has types. So this is a table label for a table. Okay. Right. So then figures and images. So if you use figures and images, make sure you use or import graphic package. Graphic package. So let's delete this table. Remember import, so the use must be done before the beginning of the document, right? Then you can include your image. But remember, your image must be in the same place as your LaTeX file, or you need to give the path. Okay, give the path. Right? Begin figure. H means here at the image here, right? Not anywhere else of in the page. And end image, which is a figure, and then include graphics, your image file. Uh, if it is in the same place, just give the file name. Otherwise, give the path also. Okay. But in my case, I'm using online tool, right? So therefore, I need to upload it separately because here I don't have the access to the path. Okay. But you can do it. So this is how you do it. Okay. So you just keep your cursor somewhere here and say, because it will generate the code for you. Okay. Say insert, uh, insert figure upload from computer. Right. So then you can copy paste or drag and drop your image. Okay. So let's take an image. Let's take an image from say JPG image. Right. I'll take this one, copy, because this is online tool. Okay. I can just paste it. Control V. Okay, Control V. It's pasted as image.png. Okay, so then I'll say insert figure. So it has generated this code, right? Now, of course, if I recompile, because image is now uploaded, this table will be deleted because now the table is not there. Recompile. Now you can see it has added the image to my, and if I download, PDF will also have the image. See, right? So how to do that? So this is your big, we have imported the graphic X, okay? Graphic X. So then this is your begin document and end document, right? So you need to call the figure, begin figure and end figure, right? So this is centering means, we have centered the image, that is optional, okay? And this is the caption. You can give any caption, right? Let's say panda, say Kung Fu Panda. And of course, this is your label, say panda. Label you can refer in your text. So it has started figure one. If you have another figure, it will be figure two. Okay, because this is the only figure. It says it's a figure one. Its numbering is automatically done. And here you say include graphics, width you can set, and line width you can set, and so on. And then your image. Because it's online tool, you can just give it as a normal image name only because we have uploaded it. Okay, uploaded it. So this is the same code, right? Begin figure H means here centering, include graphics. So these are the additional things for the border and so on, and your image file name. And optional you can have caption and label. And because it's a figure, you usually say FIG. Tables is tab, figures fig, and end your figure because this is where you start your figure. Okay, and this is how you refer to it. If you want to refer to it, you can refer like this later anywhere in your document. Okay, let's refer to it also. Say after this, when you refer to it, use the same name. In our case, fig panda. Okay, fig panda. Okay, so it's a sort of internal link. Okay, internal link. Uh, this is not a direct link, right? Uh, it's a link. Okay, it's a link. You can see figure one. So we didn't say it's figure one, right? We just say figure and ref this particular figure. So therefore it has taken it as figure one. If for some reason, if you have added another image figure before that, and then this became figure two, you don't need to come and change this. This will be automatically updated as figure two. Otherwise, right, you need to come and change these names. So that is the advantage. So when you add another image figure before that, and then this will become figure two, then this text will be automatically updated as figure two. You don't need to come and change because you are referring to the figure panda, this name, this label. That is the advantage of referring to labels. Same thing is applied for tables as well, right? You can refer to the tables. Then you don't need to come and change your table numbers. Okay. Right. So the next, how to add headers, footers, title page, and page numbers. Okay. Right. First, let's look at how to add page numbers and table of contents. So by default, page numbers are added. So you don't need to do anything for that, right? Page numbers are already added. Okay. And page numbers will be in the bottom center by default. And by default, no custom headers and footers are added. Only the page now. Okay. Only the page now. But if you want to change the page number style, you can do it. Anyway, by default, it is Arabic 1, 2, 3. But sometimes maybe you want something like Roman page numbers, especially for the first part, like your forward, acknowledgement, and so on. So then you can set it as another command, page numbering Roman. Okay. So this is the default. But if you again want to change from Roman to Arabic, then you need to say page number Arabic because otherwise your entire document will be Roman. Okay. But default is also Arabic. Okay. So then if you want to add new page, so far we have been adding content to one page, right? Of course, if it doesn't fit into one page, it will go to the next page. But if you want to intentionally add a new page, right, for a new chapter or something, right? So then you can use a command called new page. So even though you have space below in that page, this will force you to take you to the next page. That is a very good idea, especially when you start a section, because usually we start sections in a new page. And once you have these and sections, subsections, if you want the TOC, you just use table of contents tag or the command. It will automatically generate the table of contents. Okay. Right. So let's take a complete example now so that I can explain everything together. Right. So this is our document class is article and we begin our document. And of course, this is the end of the document. Okay. Right. So we have set the page number into Roman because otherwise by default page numbering is Arabic because we want to have Roman page numbering for first few pages, right? Like TOC acknowledgement. So then we have added a table of content. So that means that is a TOC page, TOC. And then we have forcefully added a new page because otherwise our next content will come to the in same page as TOC if your TOC is very small, right? So you can have any number of new pages, right? Maybe one for your uh, say, so you can have a section, right? Section, you can see there's a help also. Section, say acknowledgement. Of course, you need to write some text. Okay, text goes here and new lines and so on. Okay, more text. So again, if you want, you can have another heading or section or something or subsection. Okay, and so on, right? So, okay, let's have another section in a new page. Let's call it uh, abstract. Okay, and so on. And now we have set the page number into Arabic because we are going to start our main report. So there we have a section called introduction and some text. And next section we start in a new page. Let's say analysis. And of course you can have subsections, subsections, another new page, and then the end of the document. And all these will be considered in your TOC as well because you have a table of contents also added as the first page. And here you can have a title also. Still, I have not added a title page. Okay. Now I can say pre-compile. Okay. And let's download the PDF and see also. Right. So you can see TOC has been generated. Here it's in the Roman numbers because it's in the first Roman numbering section, right? Acknowledgement and so on. Then this acknowledgement. Of course, I have not added any text. Abstract. I forget to add new line for after abstract, right? So actually, this should have been taken to a new page. I completely forget. Let's do like that. Right? So let's add a new page. Uh, right, new page here. Right? So then the section. So let's recompile, download. It's very easy, right? It's not rocket science. Why introduction is not going to the still
Sir,
introduction?
you opened the before one.
Where?
You opened the before downloaded one.
Is that the case? Yes. So I open the previous one, right? Yes. So now you can see acknowledgement is here, abstract is here, introduction is here, analysis is here. Of course, you can have subsections, subsections, okay? And TOC is generated, and if when you add more and more content, TOC will be auto updated, right? And so on, right? So by default, your page numbering will be now here Roman numbers. From this point onwards, numbering has restarted with Arabic numbers. And by default, it is bottom center. Okay, bottom center. So then if you want, you can have headers and footers. Because often in reports, we have headers and footers. Okay. So if you need headers and footers, you need to use package or import fancy HDR package. Okay, fancy HDR. Uh, so then, okay, let me take this as example. So rather than I explain everything in one example, I just took it as small example because you have MCQs, right? You have isolated questions. Right. So here what we have done is we have the document class article, use package fancy header, and page style is fancy. So once you use package, you can set the page style as fancy. And of course, here you end your document. Okay. Now you can see we have set fancy HF. That means clear default header and footer. Right? Because we are going to use this package. So therefore, first of all, we want to clear the default header and footer settings of the LaTeX. Then we set our fancy heading. So this heading is set only once because this is going to be applied for all the pages, subsequent pages, right? Subsequent pages. So therefore, still we are not in the begin document, right? You need to do it before the begin document because this is going to be applied for your entire document. This is your fancy head or the header. Left side have this text. Right side, it's optional, right? If you want only need the left side, you just use only left side. But here we have left side computer science, right side it says assignment, right? And this is fancy footer, fancy foot, and they are in the center. Uh, you just give the page number, okay? Right. So therefore, if you don't want the right side, you just delete this line, okay? But make sure you first clear your default header and footer, and then your document, of course. Document, new pages. So I have added new pages so that you can see that your header and footer is applicable in all these pages. So you can have sections, subsections, you can have TOCs. Okay. Now we can see left hand side it says computer science. Right hand side it says assignment. And of course the page number is there in the footer. Then second page also you have, because that is header, right? Every page will have your heading, left side and blah blah blah. Okay. So that is how you work with headers and footers. Okay. So make sure you set it before you begin document so that it's applied to entire document. Right. So next thing is adding a title page. So we like to have title page for your reports as well, right? So I'll show you a final year report again. Of course, you don't need to use LaTeX for your final year report, right? Almost all the students use Microsoft Word. That is fine, but you, because this is in your syllabus, right? Sometimes maybe if it is a thesis or something, there may be a requirement saying you must prepare it using LaTeX. So that is why you have these topics. So this is a final year project report. So this is the title, okay? So declarations and blah blah. You can see Roman numbers are used here. You need to prepare these things, whatever the tool you use, right? It must be highly professional. Some students' final year reports are rubbish, right? So definitely university reject those because they expect that you are a highly professional, disciplined, serious person, right? මේ කනකොල කපන්න නෙමෙයි ඉගෙන ගන්න ලොකු බරපතල වැඩවලට. Okay? EOC, table of content, table of figures, table of tables, then your sections, subsections, right? So it's a serious stuff now. You must think in a very serious manner, right? So that you are fit into a serious profession like in IT. Okay, right. So now let's see how to add a title page if you use LaTeX. And I will explain it using example. Right. So document class article. Now you can see before beginning of the document, we have set title and author. These are optional. Of course, author is optional. And by default, it will add the current date. Right. If you want, you can override and delete current date, but by default, it is added. Okay. So then your document started. And inside the document, you must say make title. You can see this is title. uh, but your title will be added here because this is where you make your title or make your title page. Okay. Then of course you can have any other pages and so on. Okay. Pages, sections, and so on. Okay. But this is how you create your title, this, and then make title. Okay. So it will generate a title page like this. You can see if you download PDF. So this is my title. This is the author. By default, it at the date. Just do a Google search or ask ChatGPT if you want to remove this because by default it is added. So there should be way to remove it. I didn't check it. Okay. So just do it as exercise because examiner might ask it. Right. Examiner might ask how to remove this. Okay. Right. So that is how you add a title page. Okay. So actually the title page is added by this tag, make title. Okay. Make title. And by default, your title page will also get a page number. So if you want to prevent that, or you don't want to show the page number, you can say this page style empty. That means don't show the page number because usually you don't want to show the page number in your title page. Right. So this is just I have added few sections in the subsequent pages. Right. So now we are into our final parts, page size and margins. So remember when you prepare a report, most of the time still we want to print it. Of course, in 2, 3 years of a time, no one is going to care about printing your reports, right? It's all 100% going to be PDF. But still, some universities expect that you print, even be university expect your final project report to be printed. But that is usually when you pass your report final one, they just want to print it. I don't know why they ask you to print it. They just keep it for some time in the library and then they, I think, burn it. Right? It's waste of resources. But anyway, still people are interested in printing things because some people are very conventional. So therefore, when you prepare a thesis or report or book, of course, if it is a book, sometimes we need to print it. So you need to set up your page size, whether it's A4, letter paper, and so on. So how to do that? You can set it in the document class, right? Document class. So you can see we just say article. So there you can set up your paper size and so on. Okay. Uh, and when if you want to set the margins, that is the paper size, margins like left margin, right margin, overriding the default. So the easiest thing is you need to import or use package geometry. And when you import the geometry package, in that import itself, you can set the margins. So, okay. You can set the margins, left margin, top, bottom, left, right margins in centimeter, inches, and so on. Okay. So this is if you have all margins the same value, that is left, right, top, bottom, all 1 inch. But this is you set it separately. Top is 2.5, bottom is 2.5, left is 3, right is 2. Okay. Right. So this is such an example. Let's copy paste it. So then, of course, when you look at your PDF or print it, you will get those margins. Okay, get those margins because it's something for the printing. Right, that's it. Right, I will add maybe 1 or 2 slides, additional slides, and upload it again. Maybe by end of day today or maybe tomorrow. That is, I want to include how to add formulas, mathematical formulas, though it's not directly mentioned in your UCSC note. Uh, and also how to add references because remember this is a communication subject. They are really interested about plagiarism, how to write your references, right? So how to write your references in the correct format. I will add those two, maybe just 1 or 2 slides, and I will upload it to your WhatsApp group and also to Google Classroom. Google Classroom, I have not added this document yet because I want to add those 2 slides and then upload it to Google Classroom. Okay. Right. So that's it. Right. It's took only 1 hour, right? So let's take 10 minutes and do the past papers. We'll start with 2024 paper. Right. So I don't want to take a lot of time, just 1.5 hour session today, because we have done the all the MCQs other than LaTeX questions. Okay. So let's say LaTeX questions. Right. So this is the first LaTeX question. Which of the following LaTeX environment support label and caption commands? So remember, we can add labels and caption to figures and tables, right? So you don't have labels for enumerate, itemize, those are the uh, ordered list and unordered list. But you can have it for table, not tabular. Remember, table is the one that we use the uh, label and caption, right? So therefore, I'll go for table. Obviously, for figures, we can add. We already explain it. So therefore, I'll go for A and C, right? Tabular is inside the table. But remember, we add caption to the table, not to the tabular, right? I'll go for A and C. 8. Yes, A and C. Okay, A and C. Right. Next question. Right. Ninth is not latex. Is it only one question? There's another one. Right. 13. How many levels of sections LaTeX support by default? By default, remember, section, subsection, subsection. 3 levels. Section, subsection, subsection. So C. Yes, C. Right. There's another question. 15. Which of the following LaTeX commands can be used to format bold text? So if you want to make it bold, either you use text BF, right? Text BF or just BF. Remember, text BF or just BF. Where is that? Or not? Text formatting. Right, either text BF or BF. Okay, text BF or BF. So answers are A and C. A and C. 15, A and C. Yes, A and C. Is that all, or do we have anything else from LaTeX? Because other questions we have done. That's it. I think about 5 questions, 4 questions, right? Right. So let's look at the 2023 paper. Any LaTeX questions? Yes, first one itself is a LaTeX question. Which of the following characters is used as starting symbol for command line in LaTeX source file? Right, starting symbol for command line. Sorry,
So it's a
starting
commented
symbol
line.
for
Comment,
commented line.
comment.
Commented line. So commented line is percentage mark, right? A, right? A. So then any LaTeX questions, because others we have done. All the LaTeX. There's another one. 19th. Which of the following syntax can be used to create a table to center following list of requirements in a document using LaTeX? Okay, so you need to do this kind of a formatting. And it's a table, right? Table. Number of columns should be 5. So number of columns should be 5 means in your table you must have 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3. So everyone has 5, right? 1, 2, 3, 4. Sorry, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, everyone has 5. That is fine. Middle column should be center line. So middle column must be the third one, center line, center line, center line, center line, center line. Okay. So everywhere it's center line. All the other columns except middle column should be left align. All others must be left align. Right? You can see left align, but here it says P. P means fix, fix width, fix width. Okay. But others are all left aligned, but here this is also P, but without giving the size. So therefore, this is little bit doubtful. And these are fine. Left, 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 left. Okay. So here I think also the fixed width. right? Okay, let's see. Width of the second column from left should be 3 centimeter. Second column from left, that is first second column, it must be 3 centimeter, right? Centimeter, not point. So therefore, I will not take this, right? So this is 3 centimeter, this is 3 centimeter, this is 3 centimeter. All columns separator should be visible. So column separators are there. You can see everywhere column separators are there. So that is fine for all answers, right? So now which one we want to take? This says begin table, tabular, tabular, right? Is it tabular or table? Tabular, right? It's tabular, right? Not table. Let's double check because I can't remember exactly whether it's table or tabular. I think it's tabular. Table is for caption and other things, right? Yeah, tabular, right? Not table. So you apply this to the tabular, right? Not to the table. Table is just to add your caption and so on, right? Caption and so on. So therefore it must be tabular, not table. So therefore I will not take this. Okay. Uh, Begin tabular, end tabular, fine. So only thing is this is L, this is P. But if I can remember, if it is fixed with, you need to use P, not L, right? You need to use P, not L, right? Uh,
So they have told width of the second column from left should be 3 centimeter.
this is first and second, right? First column, second column.
Yeah, from left they have told, so isn't it L?
From left. I thought from left means something from here. Say from left side, second column. Because they are not talking about the alignment, right? It says second column from the left, right? This is the third column from the left. I don't know. That is how I interpreted. So if I interpret it like that, I will go for C. Because fixed width is usually P, not L. Okay, let's see the answer. I'm not very sure. 19. Examiner's answer is C. So that means yes, left from second column means first column, second column, right? Because fixed width is usually P, not L. Okay. A fixed width is usually P, not L. Okay, so therefore I'll settle for C. Okay, right. So that here I think only two questions, right? Right. What about 2022? Any LaTeX? Right. So we have few questions. What are the LaTeX commands used in drawing table? Right. So we use table, uh, begin tabular, right? So we have H line, right? There's nothing called row and column, right? It's all about H line, right? H line, horizontal lines. Then your structure has these things, and new lines are added using this slash slash. Okay. So remember, we use these three in our tables. So A, C, and E. A, C, and E. Yes, A, C, and E. So you can see there is table. Tabular, table, H line, right? So that's what we use, right? There's nothing like TDTR. Right, next question. Which of the following LaTeX commands is used to begin a new section? So that is section, right? Section and your section name, right? There's nothing called begin section, right? Begin chapter, section break. It's section, subsection, subsection. This is for section, and this is your section title. I'll go for C. Yes, C. 17. Which of the following LaTeX command can be used to create a list within a document? So remember, we have itemized list and enumerator list, right? Enumerator list, itemized list. So those are the two type of list available. A and C. Yes, A and C. Right. I think that's it. Okay. Right. So let's look at there's another past paper, 2021 paper, LaTeX questions. Right. 15 question. What is the correct number of rows and columns of the following LaTeX table, respective number of columns and then, sorry, first number of rows, then number of columns. Right. So number of columns. So you can see L, 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 L. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? So that must be 5. And again, data, can see 1, 2, 3, 4. Maybe this is blank. So maybe this is blank, but you can see and is there. First date, second, third, fourth. Maybe this is blank. Because here we have 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then how many rows? This is your first row, second row, third row. And this looks like empty row. No data, but 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah. Well, no data. It's like an empty row, but none of these have data. So therefore, we'll take that also as a row. Right? So then in tabula and table. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 rows. I'll go for 4 and 5. C. Yes, 15C. 16 is also LaTeX. 17 is also LaTeX. What is the correct method of passing size of the paper into LaTeX document? Remember, we can set the page like A4 and so on. That is the thing that we discussed last. Right? You can use document class. Document class, that is A4, whatever. And this is the default font size, and this is the type of your document. It can be A4, art, letter, paper, and so on. Okay. Right. Document class. Right. So this is like answer. This is just begin document class article A4. No, it must be here a square bracket your document size and then title here, not this way. Okay. So therefore I'll go for C. Yes, answer is C. 17 is also LaTeX. Which of the following LaTeX command is used to create title page? So remember, title page is created by make title. Of course, title is your title, but title page is created using make title. I don't know if the examiner expect both the answers, so just this. And it says create a title page, so therefore I'll go for make title. But anyway, if so examiner might take this also because this title will be inserted here. But this is where you create the title page. Okay. Is it make title? I think it's make title, right? Yeah, make title. I'll go for B. Yes, answer is B. Okay. Right. So no other LaTeX question. Right. That's it. That's it. So this is our final session. So I think you have exams not next week, right? Another one week. You have one more week, right? So we finish about 1 week, right? So now we have done everything. If you have any questions, right? So just keep sending me the questions. I can answer those questions because we have covered all the past papers as well, right? Only thing was this particular stuff pending, right? So anyway, this is now done, including the past papers. Now, basically, yeah, LaTeX is the one that was kept pending. Now that is also done. Okay, so I'll remove this. Right, so that means that if everything is done, now it's up to you to go prepare for the exams. Make sure you concentrate on understanding things, building your confidence, right? Because this is semester 3. Semester 4 is even tougher, right? Semester 4 you have the technical subject called enterprise application development. It's very technical. And project management is also fairly challenging subtopic. Computer networking is there, very highly technical. And finally, is going to be even more complicated, right? More challenging. So therefore, you must build your confidence by understanding subjects, right? Not memorizing things, right? So we stop at this point because you need some time for the preparation as well in the weekends, right? So that is why I wanted to make it only 1.5 hour session rather than taking a lot of time. Okay, right? So we stop at this point, right? Thank you.